Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning in, watching today's video. I am back out here, another camping trip with my buddy Craig, CLPBushcraft, and I thought it'd be cool to just hang out and talk with you and show you how I set up camp. Everything I've got loaded up in my vehicle for car camping, essentially indefinitely. If I have food and water, just could kind of live out of this. Generally, exactly what I have packed is what I would do if I'm going across country for either an event that I'm teaching at, or a skills gathering that I want to go to, or any kind of road trip stuff. So wanted to bring you along and show you what we got and just kind of the process, and just share what I've come to do for my camp, and that I end up really liking, and sleep super comfortable. I stay dry, and especially if it's just me, I have plenty of room that if I have like a full day of bad weather, I could essentially just stay in my Tipi with my chair and play music and whittle on a stick and all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna start getting this stuff unloaded, and as I'm setting it up, I'll go over what all of it is, and also just kind of chit chat with you and hang out. It's been a while since I've kind of done a video like that. I've just kind of been showing you gear and stuff lately, and I wanted to kind of get back to just real casual hanging out videos. So check this out. So this is what the back end of it looks like. When it's just me, I just kind of throw everything in here. I'm not too concerned about, spatial awareness and being conscious of my space and stuff. If it's me and somebody else, then I condense a lot of this stuff, and I'll fold all this stuff up, and my blankets and everything. But we have just an assortment of stuff: backpack, a little soft cooler, a chair, water, some liquid deaths for drinking. We're going to get some target practice in this weekend. And then the 2 crates, the one that I've already shared with you, and my wool blankets. And then up there is like my sleeping pad, my pillow, my top quilt, and my clothes duffel. And then another duffel bag with all of my pew firearm stuff in it. So first things first, this is a mess. I never folded it up from the last time I was out here. I get out this large 10x10 wax canvas tarp. I use that as the ground, like the floor of the teepee, because it is an open floor. This is a really old 10x10 that I've had for, man, I don't know, probably pushing 8 or 9 years now. It's a company that no longer exists, but it used to be called Deer Creek Wilderness Outfitters. So it holds up really well, but it's just too big and heavy for me to use like backpacking and all that. And it works really good as a floor. So it's just kind of become that. I thought about selling it, and I'm really glad that I didn't. And then this is the teepee and the stakes. And usually, I was lazy the last time, the poles fit in here too. So this is the whole teepee and the wax canvas bag of stakes. So even that, if I take that out, you're looking at just this, and this compresses down even more. A huge living space that weighs like not a lot. And then I opted for the carbon fiber pole. So this is a Seek Outside Red Cliff 6P, and I added the stove jack and the door screen. So what I've realized, the easiest way to do this is I find the area that I want to set the teepee up in, and then the center pole gets put up, and then I add the floor. I've tried it all kinds of ways by now, and unless it's raining, this is kind of, well, I take that back. If it's raining, this is kind of the best way to do it, and it keeps the floor from getting wet. If it's not raining, you can do it however you want, but this is just the easiest, because you set this teepee up first in a square. You stake it out in a square, and then you put the center pole in, and then you pull the sides out, and that's what makes it more of a teepee shape. So I've tried to put the floor down and then match the teepee first, or put the floor down first and then match the teepee to it, and I just end up moving stuff around, and like it just kind of becomes a game of shuffleboard. So I do the teepee first, and then I'll do the ground floor, and I'll show how I do all that too, just in case you're wanting to see or get this in the future. Also, just to hang out, there's some stuff I want to talk about too. I actually left a stick here from last time. Look at that. It was raining when we left, so I go ahead and put the poles together first. So the bottom pole has a cap on the end and the adjustments down here, and it has the logo, and I just put some glow tape on here. And with this, I go ahead and drop it down a couple of notches from the time before, because once you assemble all this, that's going to be the only adjustment that you need to tighten up the teepee. And then I find the top piece, which also has a cap on it, and it's just open. You can condense these into only 3 poles, but I didn't do it last time. And you just kind of piece it together, so there's really no adjustment on this top one. You just plug in and get the click, and then, sorry, it's actually 5 poles. Then this one clicks, okay? And then this one goes in here. So we're sitting at, you know, over 5 feet. And then this one goes in here. And now you're well over 6 feet. And if you put enough slack in your teepee, it's really hard. I don't think it's possible, but that's technically the maximum height that you could get. So it's right at, I think, 9 feet tall. But I'm gonna drop this down a few spots, and I usually have it about this tall. And now that's done. I put this off to the side, open up the stuff sack. Really nice bag. I love companies that give you more than enough room in a stuff sack. Like, they make it bigger than what you actually need, because as soon as you open this up from the factory or the company that made it, you'll never fold it and get it back up to the way you bought it. So this is what I've been using for my, a lot of dirt and stuff in there. This is what I've been using for my tent stake bag. It's a wax canvas bag from Pacific Northwest Bushcraft. It's just a really nice heavy duty bag that can handle the dirt and the grime and the grit from the stakes. And then here's the teepee. I have over a year of use of this now, and in the bottom is just the little extra half liner that we can go over here in a little bit if you want, but it's essentially like half of the footprint that you can toggle in, and it's like a separate bug screen section that you can get into. So if you're in an area that's really hot, you can open up both of these doors, because there's doors on both sides. You can open up both doors and have the screen zipped to allow airflow through it. And then if you need even more bug protection, you can toggle in. It's essentially like a bug net little area, like the old Eno hammocks that just had like a bug net tube that went over the whole hammock. It doesn't really form fit or nothing. That's kind of what this is. It just snaps in or toggles in to the area that you're sleeping in, and the other half is open, and you just unzip the bug area and go in there. So I haven't used it yet. We get pretty bad mosquitoes here, and I'm just kind of aware of when I'm going in and out that I always close it or zip up the option that I chose for this, which was the bug screen. So you always want to find the top, and from the top I find my stove jack, and I know that the doors are opposite. So I'll put one door this way and then one door this way. So once you find your doors, So here's the bottom of the door. You count over 1 loop, 2 loops, okay? And that's where I'll put my first stake. So hold on a second. All right, we're gonna move you to this fancy point of view little holder that I have. So these are your doors here, okay? So here's the door. You can see the tag there, made in Colorado, all right? So it's got both the inner screen and then the outer door. And then you move over and you do 1 loop, 2 loops, okay? So the way that they make these is they're reinforced. And you have a loop here. And you have a loop on the inside because this is technically like a little skirt that if you wanted to, this can go to the ground, and then you can stake this to the ground on the inside, and this can fold and tuck in. So it's like a snow skirt, or it can be opposite. I haven't had to use that obviously here in Texas yet, but that is an option. So I'll take this and I'll stake this down to the outermost area that I want the teepee to be. Like I'll kind of imagine if I want to sleep from here to there, and I'll stake down a corner, and then you go opposite. If this is the center of your door, and you do 1 loop, 2 loop, that's where my stake was last time, and then that's the other corner. So that's the length of the teepee from there to there, or the width, and then I'll go back. And it takes a little bit of adjustment, but that's the general idea of it. So I have a little hatchet here that was in Craig's stump over there. And for the corners, I'll use the stakes that they provide you with. It's these long spiral red ones. So I'll pull out 4 of those and I stick them in my pocket. And I'll take the corner here. And when you first do this, you want to do it light, or you want to do it loose. Sorry, not light. You don't want to stake this in super taut like you would your tart, because you need enough slack that when the pole goes up the center, it tightens everything up that way. It just takes a little bit of doing. When you first set it up, it's not the easiest. And something that you can do too, if you're worried about it, is you can go ahead and get like your foam pad, or I have like one of the accordion thin pads, and you can lay that down on the ground and lay there and see if it's flat and if you like it, and then you can kind of build your teepee around it. CLP's here, by the way, too. Let me move this in a little closer. If you pull it really tight, it's going to put too much tension on the pole. So what they say to do is pull it tight in a straight line and then let a little slack off and then push it in. And then same thing, you come back here to the back and you find your door. So there's the door, and I count 1 tab, then I count 2 tabs, and I line this up, pull it tight, let it go a little bit. Kind of make sure it's straight with the other one, let it go a little bit, put it in the ground. What's up, Craig?
What's up, brother?
You need help with anything?
No, I'm good. I got threw everything in the truck.
How are you, dude?
Good, brother. How are you? Glad you made it.
Heck yeah. Once you get these 4 corners staked in, it's kind of loose looking. You'll come in and plug the top into the center here. And this is where, like, if it's raining, if you're wearing a shell, you're setting all this up. Keep everything inside your vehicle or whatever that you need dry. And then once you get this up, you can start bringing stuff in. So you just kind of flip up the edge up here, and you got to kind of duck walk under it. And once you get under it, you can see I'm standing, and you just prop it up. So I haven't adjusted the pole at all. So I can lift up on this pole and pull it up that tight. So that's kind of what I do, is I like measure where I think I am, and then I'll pop this little button and lift this up to where it's pretty taut. So that's about good for me. And then you can unzip this side. Ta-da! So this is kind of the footprint, but you can see even without staking everything out and tightening it all up, it's pretty big in here. And then to give it the teepee shape is you pull this out and you'll pull the doors out. So we'll do that next as we keep talking. It's kind of funny that, like, when I first got into this stuff, it was like real relaxed, and like you'd see people next to their vehicles, and it was like car camping stuff. And people would just bring you along for the ride. Yeah. But then we've gotten to a point now that it's like you got to have some kind of production. It's got to be a movie.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice.
I watch them.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, it's
like,
very entertaining.
I miss the days where
it's just people get a camera and
you just set stuff up.
Yeah.
And like you're not trying to hide the vehicle, and like you know, like you're some secluded out by yourself in the middle of nowhere kind of thing. Like you know, I don't know. So it's really refreshing for me to just like film relaxed videos that, you know, you just kind of bring somebody along with your camping.
Yeah.
Because this is where it started for everybody, is car camping.
Oh, yeah.
At least for me.
Yeah, same with me. I mean, we would, camping out on my cousin's grandma's land, we'd just take the truck down there, a four-wheeler, and just camp. And doing all this bushcraft stuff before it was bushcraft, you know, before we thought it was bushcraft.
Yeah.
Or was told it was bushcraft or whatever.
One thing about the doors, real quick, is you want to make sure you only stake down one, so that one you can leave flapped open. So like this little tab that goes over, or this little piece that goes over this, that always lets me know that I need to leave this to the one that it's attached to undone, because that's the one it's going to open. And the doors are what I stake down pretty tight, because it'll give you it'll open it up a lot more. Go around here and stake the back one. So do you remember when you're like the first time that you camped? Like, do you remember your first family camping trip or something?
Yeah. Family camping trip was in Colorado.
Really?
Yeah, so I was 5, so it goes way back. But we rented a van, me, my mom, dad, sister, and brother, older brother and older sister, and my dad's best friend, Joe Don, and his son, and we went to Colorado. I don't remember exactly where all we went to Colorado, but I remember camping at campground. Like, I can still remember the campgrounds and like the stuff. I remember like being up on the mountain in the clouds, coming up over the mountain, me sitting there with my dad and looking down at what city was it? I can't remember what city it was now. But yeah, it was, I mean, as far as that was my very first camping experience.
And how old are you, like 5?
5, yeah, 5. Now, me and my cousin, Brad, back when we were in, oh gosh, middle school, I guess. we started camping out at his grandma's land, which is kind of like where I am here. I mean, it's about 5 miles north of this, but it's pretty secluded. Creek runs through it, kind of like the same kind of land as this. And we would camp out there, and every summer we were out there camping all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. I remember going to Walmart to the camping section, or Sears to the camping section of stuff, and looking at all the gear and what stuff we'd want to buy. And
Dude, Sears.
yeah.
Sears used to be so cool.
I bought my first ferro rod from Sears.
So you even had a ferro rod.
Yeah, it was one of them Gerber Strike Force ferro rods.
You remember all this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was. I've started me a fire with that thing. It's heavy as a brick, but it worked. I mean, it gets the fire started. We'd always make stew or like a soup or something. We'd always camp like it. We'd always have breakfast in the morning. Like we'd always cook eggs and bacon and stuff. My cousin, he was normally the cook out of the both of us.
Stew, huh?
Yeah, it was good.
What do you think? What do you think's caused us to like not do that kind of stuff anymore?
I don't know.
In general, like we obviously do it,
Yeah, we obviously do it. It's kind of embedded in me now. Like if I don't do this, I don't feel normal.
That's exactly what I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like when you
Yeah.
in the very beginning of this video.
Uh-huh.
Because what started all this is I was thinking about everything on the way up here. Like exactly that. When enough time goes by that I don't get outside, like I don't feel right. Like I'm just I get in a funk.
Yeah.
And I'm not, it's not that I'm a bad person to be around.
Yeah.
But I'm not as happy-go-lucky as I am.
No.
And it like resets my battery. And I wonder, I was saying to the camera, like I wonder if my grandpa was that way too, because like when he died, my mom gave me his wallet, and right behind his ID was his like gold member, lifetime member, National Parks
Oh, wow.
ID pass.
Yeah.
And like he carried that for a reason, obviously, you
Right.
know. And Lord knows he used it. Like my grandma and grandpa visited, like drove to every state except Alaska and Hawaii.
Dang. That's cool.
And so that was another big deal. Like when I went to Alaska, like that was something he never got to do.
Oh, yeah.
And the first time I went was my mom, me, my wife, my mom, and my dad. And so my mom, it was a big deal for her because she got to do something her dad never got to do.
Oh, yeah.
But like, it was just ingrained in us, man. Like my mom being a teacher, like we'd go up, I was telling the camera, we'd go to this place called Daisy State Park. And Daisy back then had the city or the little town had a population of like, I don't know, 500, 700 people.
Yeah.
And for the 2 or 3 weeks that we'd be camping there, it'd be my mom's sister, my grandpa, usually another family from church, and my dad would go back to Texarkana during the week to go to work, and then he'd come in on Fridays and stay the weekend. And my grandpa was with us, and then our friends from church that were retired or whatever were with us. And there were times that we'd be the only people there at that park. And literally us paying that $12 or $13 a night to stay there was keeping this older couple.
Oh, yeah.
Like she ran the front office and he'd be humming around on a little side-by-side and doing the trash and cleaning the bathrooms and stuff. And if it wasn't for us being there, we would be paying them. Like they would probably, they'd be shut down, honestly.
Wow.
And
kind of like that little park in Mississippi we go to.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, kind of like that little mom and pop place.
Yeah. If you have a really good friend like Craig, and they offer you to be able to come and stay at their property and spend time outdoors whenever, that's something like to be extremely grateful for.
Yeah.
Like that's, and like we've talked about this isn't that big of a deal to you.
Yeah. I mean, I've grew up with it. It's like ingrained in me that I've always had access to this place. And it's kind of, I take it for granted sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
But.
And then we come out here, our other buddies come out here and we're like, man, this is awesome. And like, you know, it brings life to it for you.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
All right, we got 2 left. Not supposed to be any crazy weather or rain or any of that stuff.
Oh, thank goodness.
But just to get it all nice and toy like a toy. Check this out, people. This is what it looks like. And compared to the last time we were out here, this is a way better pitch.
Yeah.
It looks good. So what I found out after using this now for the last year or so, it's really important that you use the bigger stakes and you go directly in the loops that are sewn in to get your footprint. But to get more room, I added paracord loops to the sides and to like out here at the doors, okay? And it just fills it out a little bit more. You don't have to, but I've learned that. So here's how we put the floor in, all right? All right, so I only stake down the one side, okay? So this opens up and there's toggles here. So see my screen door is split. You could zip this in if you wanted, but there's toggles here on the inside that you can roll all this up if you wanted this to just be open, okay? So once you get in here, you can see how much room we have. So I find the center of this. And again, you don't have to have this, but man, it sure makes it nice, doesn't it?
Yeah. Being just right on the ground.
So I'll find the center of this, which is, the center seam is right here. And then I'll just take this edge of the tarp where the center seam is, and I'll lift this pole up enough. Bring it down a little bit. Oh. And then I'll just pull this into the center here, kind of. And since we have all those stakes already out, it won't affect it as far as the pitch. And you can kind of pull all the material out. Now this doesn't cover the whole floor. This is a little bit bigger. The floor is a little bit bigger than my tarp because this is a square tarp, but it gives you a really good bottom. And then I'll pull this back tight again. Cool. Just kind of make sure this is straight and good to go. I'll get back with you guys. I'm gonna get all of our bedding stuff in here because we still got to run to the store, but we'll probably have a late night chat or something tonight, and I'll show you what it looks like in here. Here's the inside of the TP. We both use these big old Nemo pads. They're freaking amazing. It's the Nemo Roamer XL. So there's like 2 inches of foam that you let self-inflate, and then you come in and hit it with an airbag, and it adds 2 more, so it's 4 inches thick. But you can see if I was by myself, like the video footage that I got from the bison hunt, I stayed in this for 9 days by myself. I'd have my bed and my clothes duffel and all that over here on this side, and then I have a food bucket, my chair, like a full-blown like camping rocking chair, and one of the other crates over here, and I'll cook breakfast and coffee and hang out and play guitar and whatever if it's raining. So even with 2 people, there's still a ton of room. And then I'm standing up in here, so plenty of room. Well, good morning. It's pretty cold last night. Got to be well below freezing. Not well below, but it stayed below freezing. Low 30s. I think it got like 28 or so, but wasn't cold. Slept warm. Craig left a little bit ago to run back to his house and grab something that he left, but because he came here right after he got off work yesterday, so he was kind of, you know, in a little bit of a hurry. But I have a few things I need to do around here this morning. But before I got out of here, I wanted to kind of show you what we're using for sleep systems. So I sleep pretty hot, so I know this isn't going to work for everybody, but I sleep pretty hot. So it's got to be, you know, mid 20s, low 20s and below, or if it's the temps that it was last night, but there's like a wind or humidity. So a lot of times here we don't ever have a dry cold ever. We always have humidity here, so it makes everything feel damp, and you'll have condensation on everything, and the tops of your quilts or blankets will be damp when you get up in the morning, or up here where you've been breathing. And we didn't have any wind last night, and the humidity was really low, so it's been pretty dry. But I usually, if it's going to be cold, I will wear I have part of it right here. This is a wool blend with a built-in face mask in the back of the hood. It's by Origin. This is one of their base layers. I have this and their bottoms that I'll put on. So I didn't have to wear that last night, but what I did wear is I have two pairs. They're different colors, but they're my absolute favorite sleep socks. This is a company called Farm to Feet. I got these when I was in Alaska, and they're super great. They're a little bit too thick and heavy for me to wear during the day around here. I'm sure it would work great for some of you that are up north, but around here they're a little bit too much, but they are amazing sleep socks. So last night I wore these, and they come up to just below my knee. And then I usually wear some kind of shirt. You always want to change out of what you've been wearing. You'll sleep way warmer. If you get out of your socks, if you really have to, you can get out of your underwear and put on dry underwear, but I rarely do that, especially if I'm putting on those bottoms, those wool bottoms. But you for sure want to get out of whatever shirt you were wearing, because you've probably got moisture and whatever. And so last night I didn't even wear a shirt. I just wore a hoodie, and I've tried to find, and I probably haven't put enough effort in it, but I'm a big fan of zip up hoodies. I don't like pullovers because I like to be able to vent and open it up. And then I hate dealing with my beard and like me either grabbing and getting my beard when I'm pulling it off, or I'd rather just unzip it. So I love wearing a zip up hoodie to sleep in, and I like having a hood instead of a beanie. If it's real cold, I'll double it up and put a beanie and a hoodie on and put the hood on. But I don't ever just wear a beanie when I sleep anymore. I move too much, and it ends up either like falling off or all twisted and stuff. And with the hood, it gets rid of this space right here that you can oftentimes feel the cold, you know? So if I just have a hood on the whole time, I know for sure that I'm blocking off any of that air. And it just works really well. And the big thing is I sleep on my side, and there's nothing like putting your hand in your pocket when you're sleeping on your side. So I normally have one hand under my pillow or whatever, and then my hand in my pocket right here. And it's just super comfy for me. So if you're a side sleeper and you kind of find yourself like, what do I do with my hand, or it's falling asleep, if you wear a hoodie with a pocket, it's perfect. So that's what I wore last night, was just my underwear, these socks, and this hoodie. And then I brought my pillow from home because I have my car, but I needed it to be a little bit thicker, and I wasn't wearing my big wool coat, so I just kind of bundled up my wool coat and mushed it around and made it work. For my blankets, I rocked, and it was honestly a little too warm, but I rocked 2 wool blankets. These are just blends. Like, this is the Arcturus gear, just off Amazon. It's a 80-20 blend, 80 wool, 20 synthetic. Then I have the old Swiss military blanket, and I probably could have done away with one of them, but I kind of stagger them. Like, I always make sure that I have one that's over my feet and then one that I can have up over my head, and a lot of times they end up getting split. So like last night, I kept finding out that I had the Swiss one that I'd pull up over my head, and then I know that green one's down on my feet. And then I had my war bonnet top quilt, and this is a 20-degree top quilt. And another trick is if I have the zippered foot box, so basically it's not a full sleeping bag. You just slide your feet in here, and then this is open. This is open, and your feet just go in here, and it comes up to maybe back behind your knees. But the problem is when you have wool blankets on you, it gets pretty crammed in here, and you can't really move around. And so if you're sleeping on one side and then you want to flip to the other side, or if you get up to pee or a leg cramp or something. So what I do is I just open this zipper up to where it's really just enough, about that much. And it's really just enough to catch over my feet and that little bundle of wool blanket that I have. And it keeps it from coming off of me, and it also keeps it from me pulling it all the way up over my head. It's long enough that this will go up to about here when I'm laying down on my head. But these are awesome. The only thing is, and it's the same with your jackets, if you have something that's down-filled, it only works if you're not compressing it. So like, you take a super expensive down sleeping bag and put it on the ground, you're going to get cold because you're squishing that down and the ground's robbing the heat out of you. So you don't want to get inside this and then put wool blankets on top of it, because you're just going to compress this down and it's not really going to help you that much. You'll notice a huge difference if you put wool blankets on your body first and then open this up to give you the room to fit over it, and then you have this as your outer layer. Like, you can almost feel every little spot that this might be moved up, and it's just the wool blanket on your leg or something. Like, you'll pull it down over it and instantly the cold gets stripped away. So that's my sleep system. I just wanted to go over that before I get out of here, out of the Tipi. We're gonna get a fire going, coffee. I think we might cook breakfast, or we might do like a brunch. I have some stuff that I need to get done, and then I have to zero a new red dot that I have for my pistol. So it's gonna be a good day, and we're hoping, fingers crossed, that the forecast of rain, light rain, like 40% or less, is wrong for later, because every time we camp out, it always rains the last night, and then we have to pack all this up wet. It's every time. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But got to get my boots on and get out of here. So, man, I've gone back to wearing my Solomons now for a little while, because something like my ankle's been bothering me. And as much as I love the barefoot ones that I have, the Vivo trackers, there's something about this section of these boots that just really help my ankle out. So feet feel a little bit cramped, but what are you gonna do? Perks of getting old, right? stuff starts hurting when it used to not hurt, and you don't know how it started hurting. So we got the fire going, and now it's one of the most important parts of the day, which is the coffee. So it doesn't, for some people, you know, it may not mean much, okay, but at least for us and our group, we call ourselves the Creek Hole Crew. I'm not going to tell you why, but this is a very special part of the Creek Hole Crew right here, okay? This percolator this is how we drink coffee when we camp together. So even though my fellow Creek Hole Crew brothers aren't here, all of them, it's just me and Craig, we're still going to honor them by having our percolator coffee. So I grabbed what was on sale, Death Wish chocolate hazelnut. I'm a pretty big coffee snob, I'm not gonna lie, but when it comes to stuff that's on sale and camping outside, you can put anything in this percolator over a fire and it's gonna taste amazing. So I wanted to get a little fancy, and it smells great. Craig's already sniffed it.
Yeah, it's good.
Can you smell it? It smells good, doesn't it? So got this filled up with water, and then you just fill up the little basket here. And you drop her in. Make sure that it's sitting kind of centered. You put your lid on. Bada bing, bada boom. So we'll get coffee going. It's already warmer right now than what it was, I feel like, all day yesterday.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's probably just the sun, huh?
Probably, because we didn't have no sun yesterday. It was cloudy,
Yeah. So
but it feels good.
this is ready to rock. I need to go get my coffee cup.
Yeah, I got to get mine.
And then we've got this thing raging. When the coals go down, we'll place her on the little grate. I'll show you what our little fire pit looks like. So we have 2 keyholes cut out here, here and on that side. And then we just have these grates that I think they set on the sides of Craig's wood stove. So he's got his camp over there that you might have seen in some of his videos. He's got a wood stove that he has out there, and those set on the side of it. And right now that shelter is not usable. It fell in. Got to do some work on it, but we repurposed those grates and they fit perfect over these keyholes here. So, woo, this good fire. Go grab my coffee cup and I'll let you listen to the fire for a little bit. Check this out, y'all. He went and got his too. Yep. But this is another very important part of coffee for me. So if you've never done it before, I highly suggest you getting a wooden cup. It can be any wooden cup. It doesn't have to be anything crazy or special, but dedicate that wooden cup to drinking coffee out of. You can drink other stuff, but make sure you drink coffee out of it. I'll only drink coffee out of this.
Same.
And I can tell you 100% that the taste and the way that the cup holds the flavor almost. Like it patinas to it. And this is always the best tasting coffee. At home, there's times that I don't want to drink black coffee and I might add some, like a little bit of half and half in it. Or I might add some like Truvia or something in it. But man, when I'm out here, this is just
Black coffee.
I mean, it just tastes good. So I wanted to show you, we showed you the percolator. So I wanted to show you, I've had a lot of people ask about this. So, and I don't think I've ever done a video on it. So this is my salmon kuksa. It's from Belarus. It's Burl. And I don't remember the maker's name, and unfortunately he doesn't do it anymore. But this was all hand done and hand painted. I'll try to get you in the light. You can see a little bit better. And I got this as a way for me to always remember my time in Alaska. I looked for a cup up there like this that someone made from that area, but I could never find it. And I happened to come across a guy on Etsy that was making cups, and he couldn't do what I wanted. And I found this guy, and he had done a few other animals, and I'd asked him if he'd ever done a salmon. I wanted the salmon because that's, to me, the most important thing that happens in Alaska is that salmon run. When that happens, that whole place changes. And when you're living there and seeing it, you know, from the day that it happens, the morning that it starts, the whole world changes. The animals start coming alive and the activity just doubles, and it's just the coolest thing. So that is a piece of buckskin that I got somewhere along the way. And then these are just some random, a copper bead or a brass bead, a micarta bead. And then these are two acrylic skulls casts that a lady on Etsy made. This used to have antlers on it, but they broke off. And then I just took a drill and slowly drilled through the center of them and made them into beads. They weren't beads, they were just little casts. And I went through like 2 or 3 of each of them, cracking them in half because I was going too hard. So I had to do a pilot hole. And anyways, so that's my kuksa. And then check out Craig's.
So mine is one that I actually handmade, and it's made out of river birch. I don't know that that's the absolute best to make it out of, but that's what I had access to make it out of. So I carved it, and then it does have a little bit of a split right here on the front. We were camping, all of us, and it was really cold that morning, and I put hot coffee in it, and it cracked it, which is my fault, but it still holds liquid. It just is a little small crack here. But then I carved in my initial CLP and then put rubbed charcoal in it to really stand out. And I just got some jute twine, and then this little bead here is a little bead that I made out of cedar, hand carved, and this one is a little bead that I made out of the river birch. But yeah, I've used this in quite a bit, but it's always, it's a tedious process to do, like to carve it. It takes a while. In other words, it's not a quick thing to do, but yeah, it's fun to carve it. I've got another one that I'm working on right now out of cypress, so it's coming along pretty decent. Yep, that's mine.
I think we're going to have Craig hooked on Slingshots after all, boys.
It's pretty fun.
We got him with the new Simple Shot Scout, the small one. And he's already a dead-eye marksman. I ain't never seen somebody shoot pistol as good as him, but he's already hooked. He's sitting here aiming at different points of the W on the Whataburger Cup. Yeah, look at that. The other good news, boys and girls, is look at that beautiful. Look at that beautiful. Come over here. Oh, yeah. There are few things better than strong, hot coffee and being out in the woods with a campfire with your friends. Cheers to a good morning, and we'll get back with you as we do stuff throughout the day. We've been hard at work, having fun, filming some videos, and look at this burrito. Can you taste it? Look at the eggs and cheese and Papa's sausage. Oh my God. You just want you to get a bite, don't you? You need a big old bite. Come on, get you some. Greg made some dang good breakfast and got a good video filmed on it. You're going to have to tune in to see it, but I'm happy as pig in mud right now. This is good right here. Mm-hmm. You ain't got this. Eggs are too expensive for you to be making this. This is the mother of all fat wood right here. This whole sucker is fat wood, the whole thing. And it's the best fat wood that you've ever seen in your life. Look at it. So, fat wood can be hit or miss, and we're super fortunate that this whole tree is fat wood. But a lot of times, like especially my sister's old property, there's a lot of dead pines and stuff. And on some of my old videos, if you go back and watch, you'll see that I like referred to them as zombie pines, because they're kind of like just dead standing. You know that they're dead. They're like real small and broken off, and they have this greenish hue to them. And I haven't seen any here in Texas in a really long time. Like kind of down by the Davy Crockett National Forest area, there's some, but this is what I'm talking about. This is like the perfect example of that zombie green moss or whatever it is that grows on it. But what's crazy is this is the very end of this whole tree that's fat wood. And look at this. I mean, this is the absolute, no questions asked, best fat wood that I've ever seen in my life. Okay? Wait till you see this. All of that is resin. The whole thing. This is like marbled top sirloin steak. That in between the grains, that yellow stuff is pine resin. It is unbelievable. It's almost too pretty to burn, but we're gonna burn it. Well, my fun weekend is over. We ended up having a really good rest of the afternoon. I got some fun stuff filming coming out. That'll be coming out on the LT Right Knives channel, and got all packed up early. I ended up staying the night at Craig's house last night. Supposed to have really bad rain that came through, and I just didn't want to fool with trying to pack everything up wet and then get up super early this morning and do all that mess, because I'm on the road now trying to get back home for church. So it's not that far of a drive for me to make, but it sure made it easy to just pack everything up and crash on the couch and then get on the road to be back home to go to church with my wife. So it's been a really fun weekend. I'm really fortunate and blessed to have a friend with a piece of property like this that I can come and hang out and do this stuff and practice skills and create content for all you, and create content for my channel and other people. And it's just a really good getaway every time. It's a great little refresher. So I appreciate each and every one of you watching. It means a lot to have different messages and comments and asking me about different stuff and checking up on me. The Lord is still doing amazing things. He always has been, and it's been beautiful to see. So hope all of you have a great day. Thank you all for watching. Remember, get outside, enjoy the woods.